And we're live. Hello, yoo-hoo! Welcome, everybody, to the SUPERNEAT podcast, the only podcast on the internet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What fun we are going to have today. I'm going to be honest with you, as I am always with my wonderful SUPERNEAT audience. This episode is going to be a tire fire because I've done zero preparation. My lovely and beautiful cousin Nicholas is in town today, and I have done zero prep. And I'm going to blame it on him, but I do this every week. I definitely knew. I definitely could have made it, done some more prep, but I didn't. And you guys are SUPERNEAT followers, so that is exactly the type of content that you have come to expect from such a low-tier shit channel. But we're going to do it, and we're going to do it with some enthusiasm, and we're going to do it with one key light today. Because that is how we roll. I want to do a big shout out to the Hanksy podcast. We were supposed to record today, but I delayed that too, and they were super gracious and kind and are going to let us record tomorrow. They have a real podcast with a real theme, and they actually produce it, and they're really talented. So you guys should listen to the Hanksy podcast. They're on Twitter and everywhere. Real Spotify podcasts and shit are. They're the real deal, guys. I am just a dude sitting alone in his apartment talking at my fucking computer. These guys actually have a theme. They're going to watch every single, I might be missing it a little bit. I'm pretty sure every single Tom Hanks film in chronological order and then go through and review. That can't be right. Every single one? I think it is. And we are going to watch. I wonder if I'm allowed to talk about it. They already did an episode on The Burbs, but it's like my absolute favorite Tom Hanks movie. So I was like, guys, I got to do that. So that's going down tomorrow, and I'm going to keep plugging them till the end of time because they were so cool with me fucking it up at the last minute, as I do. As I like to do. My cousin Nick is here, slack-jawed over there. Nick, say hi. He was going to join us on the podcast, but he is a coward.
Hi, guys.
There he is. Big shout-out. This is the first SUPERNEAT podcast, the only podcast on the internet sponsored by AHA Sparkling Water and the Hanksy podcast. That has a live studio audience, so we are very grateful for that. What a fun experience. I said we weren't going to do it without a fill light. Your boy's a pro. We're doing a fill light. Look at that. Beautiful even lighting. Big shout out to our previous roommate JT for leaving these LED panels. And we've got a new follower. Who's our follower? Shout out to Barry Bebop is now hosting my stream with 1 viewer. Big shout out to Barry Bebop. All right, guys, let's get right into it. All right. I say that 16 minutes late. Let's get right in. Let's jump into the hot stuff. We're going to do things a little differently this podcast because I'm so wildly unprepared. But I think we like to start out with a little tight five. My Cusano's going to hop in the shower. He's got a hot date. So if there's some bad noise in the background, let me know. And what we will do about it is probably nothing. But that's just the way the cookie crumble. Hey, baby, shout out to the chat. I know I'm not supposed to talk to the chat anymore, blah, 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 but I love you all. I see you in the chat. Gooby dooby doo. The podcast is here for you. Welcome to the SUPERNEAT podcast, the only podcast on the internet. All right. So, I've gotten a ton of feedback about the podcast, and all of it, it's good feedback in the sense that it's critical and actionable. And I appreciate that very much. So if you guys have any feedback, hit me up, and we're gonna implement some of them today. First, let's do our Type 5. So I have been writing my Type 5s down, and I call them Type 5. That is a very loose term. I've been writing down my jokes and thoughts while I am on the treadmill at Planet Fitness like a psychopath. You hear a little hissing sound? Oh, that's terrible. Gosh, we had the highest pitched stupid shower on the planet. We're just gonna have to deal with it. I'll just talk like a moron. Super loud. Okay. So this is what I wrote, and I haven't actually reviewed this. New York is the greatest city in the world. Dung Beetles on their turd. Oh, yeah, this is a whole little set. All right, we'll do this. I'm not going to read it. Maybe I should read it. It's probably funnier to read my I try to like type it as concisely as possible, but it's deep enough so I'll remember. I'm from NYC because it's easier to say than across the street from a fart next to a town turd is not as catchy. Like saying I'm from Berlin instead of Hitler Town or wherever. What does that mean? Okay, what that really means is when I used to travel before the world ended, in my most recent travels to Japan, my most recent travels abroad, people would say, "Hey man, where are you from?" And you just say, because I live here, but I'm not from here. I'd say New York City, and they'd be like, "Oh, I know New York City, right? Everyone on the planet knows New York City. It's one of those cities." The reason you say that is because I'm actually from. I'm gonna dox myself. I'm from a little town in Arkansas, medium town. It was little when I was born, and now it's medium in Arkansas standards. And you can't tell that to someone in Japan because they don't know that. And I don't expect them to do the same to me. That's it. And I think the joke was something about you just lie to them. Just lie to people. Makes life easier. Instead of telling them I live in Fart Town, New Jersey, just say like I'm near, That's it. This is going terribly. Oh yeah. So this is the reason. We were in Japan and we met a friend of a friend. She said, "Oh yeah, New York City, that's the greatest city in the world." And we thought that was so funny because we had just been to Tokyo and then Kyoto, and then I think we were in Osaka at the time. And I can tell you that those, objectively, those cities are just better all around. God, the trains, everything's so clean. People are super respectful. I don't know. I'm sure there's some weird, sketchy shit happening that we don't know about, the tourists. But I can tell you from just like an aesthetic and functional point of view, they have it dialed in. New York is a fucking tire fire. It is chaos. And they were like, "Yeah, it's the greatest city in the world." And I'm like, "No, this New York just has pretty good branding. Just has decent branding." They're like, "Yeah, it's the greatest city in the world." Oh my God, I'm a fool, man. I never update my... Dang. It's not the Last Samurai podcast, but I'm talking about Japan again, so maybe it is. This is King of the Stone. King of the Stone. Thank you. Shout out to the chat. This is why we talk to the chat. Say Bill Clinton's hometown. They all know Bill Clinton, and that's not far off. You're actually pretty damn right. Bill is Bill Clinton town. Next to Hitler town. So, dude, the Japanese city builders have their shit locked down. It is so immaculate and amazing. And New York is just a bunch of little trash ants holding hands, rats holding hands, and just praying to God it's not going to explode. Someone put clamps on the subway the other day to derail it. But with what purpose? I don't know. Why? Why would they do that? I don't know. They don't do that in Japan. I mean, I guess they had a sarin gas bomb like in the 90s, but come on. Other than that. But then again, I don't live there, man. I don't know. Let's see what else I wrote in here. Tokyo makes NYC look like a wasteland full of morons. Hey, and shout out, I love New York. I live here, man, but I mean, that's not far off. Let's not get off the high horse completely. This is a reading quote. Let's just recognize the horse ain't that tall, and the Tinder profile's bullshit. Don't get me wrong, it's certainly not Detroit. But the internet's tagline for Detroit is "can't have shit in Detroit," so the bar isn't super high there. Plus, claiming superiority over shittier players in the game is only acceptable in Mario Party. Well, let's not go as low as that, please. This is pretty good. This isn't a lecture from an angry parent. This is a lecture from a disappointed child. Let's just agree, it is the greatest city in the world, but without some hard work and therapy, it's going to be the greatest ball of fire and dung in the world. Dung beetles on their turd is right. It is what you make it. Life is what you make it. I did not have sex on that podcast. I did not coom. I'm... Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I did not coom. I have CBD. I'm constantly busting. And with combustion, I can manage my symptoms. I only bust once an hour or so. I did not coom. Gosh, what a wild tire fire this is, speaking of. I can't take any criticisms from my high horse because I am sitting on a corgi. Who's ringing the doorbell? I imagine it's my brother. Let's see. Hey, Elliot. Welcome to the SUPERNEAT podcast, the only podcast on the internet. Sponsored by AHA Sparkling Water. Big shout out to the Hanksy podcast for putting up with my garbage. And also, shout out to Nick, my cousin Nick. That's it. All right, guys. We're good enough on that. We're good. This is so terrible. What else? What else? Sue Notre Dame for racist mascot against the Irish. Oh, fuck. I think that's fair. I am Irish. I don't look like that. Do I?
A little bit.
A little bit? You cannot do that, Notre Dame. Just... We don't have to be the fighting Irish. Just be the Irish. That's bogus, man. Think about it. Think about it, sheeple. Wake up. All right, let's get into the news. So bad. Gosh, guys, one day I'll prepare. God, one day this will be the greatest podcast in the world. Oh, I just wanted everyone to know out there that Don Jr. is on cocaine. All right, let's hit the news. So I can already tell you before I even pull it up that I saw the New York Times got a hold of Trump's tax records, and that's going to be trending. But as you know, I'm not political. I don't get political. No one knows my political affiliation. I keep it super biased, unbiased. Just kidding. Fuck Trump. Moron. Oh, big shout out to everyone that's just joining us on the podcast. It's the SUPERNEAT podcast, the only podcast on the internet, brought to you by AHA Sparkling Water, the Hanksy podcast, and diabetes and combustionol. If you have constant busting disease and you want to manage your symptoms, know that there is not a cure. Not yet. But our dedicated team of scientist, one guy, it's me, is working on it, and you can manage your symptoms with combustionol. Only bust once an hour. Guaranteed. I did not coom. I'm on combustionol. I was the president of the United States. And now look at me. I will become the world's oldest man as I slowly disintegrate. And yet my corpse is animated by the pure rage of my lovely wife, Hilary. Let's check the news. Oh, what a day. What a day. All right, guys, we're live. We got the news going now. So let's just break it down. You got something to say? All right. You know we're going to do the top stories first, as we always do. And just for your FYI, just for your information, the room humidity at the SUPERNEAT podcast headquarters is 74%. The temperature is 75 degrees Fahrenheit and it is 727. We are rocking and rolling. Trump's taxes show chronic losses and years of income tax avoidance. I think everyone is shocked and appalled by that. I think we had no idea that the guy who refuses to show any tax returns ever is a total bullshitter. Can't believe it. And then look at all these little subs of the New York Times, because they're lesser, I guess. That's what it sort of looks like. Trump dismisses New York Times report on taxes as fake news. I don't know, man. It sounds like they got them printed out and everything. They probably hit it. They probably hit the highlighter to it. You know, I mean, I don't know how fake news gets, but I mean, I guess they could have just typed it up and printed it out. But I'm pretty sure they printed it at least once. New York Times. Trump paid no income taxes in 10 of the past 15 years, beginning in 2000. Me and you both, buddy. Just kidding, IRS. Please do not audit me. Trump paid $750 in federal income taxes the year he won the presidency. Wow, what a bastard. I think I paid more than that. Come on, dude. Trump hit by stunning New York Times tax report. Yeah, they all just said the same thing, man. We get it. He's full of shit. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's a good guy. I'm unbiased. Here's the SUPERNEAT podcast, the only podcast on the internet. We don't like to get political. I refuse to participate. 3 Democratic senators decline meeting with Amy Coney Barrett. I don't know who that is, and I do not care. Biden camp clapback. No. Trump's best debate case, made in urine. Nice one, Biden, says the guy who wears adult diapers. You morons. Gosh, just slap fight on stage and let's be done with it. Let's have the Joe Rogan cage fight. Have these 2 old guys just both hopefully die at the same exact time. That would be a dream. Second stimulus check mired. What a word. Come on, guys. We're not trying to learn new words here. In Congress 6 months after Trump signed first. Listen, guys, I think it's pretty clear it's mired. And I don't think we need to dive any deeper into that. We all know what that word means. Context clues allow us to guess. AMD Navi 21, 22, 23 massive technical specifications leak. Ooh. Is this a strategy? I think so. I love leaks because they disrupt everything. The flagship Navi 21 GPU to have 80 CUs of compute power? Goodness gracious. We know that the 30 series is crashing, that the launch was a disaster with bots buying them up left and right. And so maybe AMD is taking advantage of this chaos with strategic leaks to build a little more hype and a little more buzz for their lineup. Boom! So that they can make a bigger dent in those initial sales. And we're getting some wild feedback from our live audience here at the SUPERNEAT headquarters, and I think they agree with me, people. I think these leaks are very strategic. I think it's a suplex from AMD, but we will just have to wait till next month till we get the. I mean, maybe I'm sure the specification leaks are probably fairly accurate this close to the launch, and if they're even close to the 3080 and at a similar price point and maybe reduced power consumption, then that's going to be a huge win. Huge. And it's a winner for you and it's a winner for me because the consumers win when the competition is high. I think we can all appreciate that. What fun. What fun indeed. I'm very excited to see what happens there. Do you guys care? I don't know. Tesla's $25,000 electric car means game over for gas and oil. Yeah, okay, so for those of you that did not watch the battery showcase, what do they call it? The battery event, you know, where Elon goes up there and just free balls. This is definitely his most cleanly executed battery day that I've seen. Usually he goes up there and he's never read the slides before. This one seemed very well prepared. They gave him a little crow host out there to help soften it up. But I think he killed it. And for those of you that didn't watch it, I watched the whole thing and then I watched some wrap-ups to see if I missed anything. I didn't. And baby, here's the deal. So they just innovate constantly. And they wanted to streamline batteries. They want to streamline production. They want to streamline everything. Streamline and optimize over and over and over. Iterate. And they're doing it. And so they've reduced, I believe, the cost overall by around 50% over. And then I think the range. I mean, I'm just going to freeball it and say that they upped it 50%. I don't know. Watch it. But that's huge because now they can finally hit the dream of Tesla, which is a car that is cheaper and better than every mainstream gas-powered car on the market. And they can do it. But it's certainly at least 2 years away, which I think is actually, personally, I think that's insanely soon. I think that's super ambitious, but Tesla always is. So it's not there yet, and we don't know what it looks like. I mean, maybe they've unveiled it. Oh, yesterday, maybe they did unveil it. But from what I saw, it was just had a little blanket emoji. So we were very excited to see that because, like the competition in between AMD and NVIDIA, when Tesla innovates in battery tech and innovates in car design, the batteries are now part of the frame. They act as structural integrity to the frame of the car. That is phenomenal. That's genius. God, I love that. That guy's so freaking smart. Those people are so smart. And they changed batteries from a tab system to some kind of weird folded origami system. They're just smart. They just sit there and tinker away all the time. And it seems like they do it so quickly. Like, what the hell is everybody else doing? Gas cars haven't even gotten that much better in like 50 years. What the fuck are you people doing? Do you even care? What the fuck are you doing? I'm asking. This Super Neat podcast. This is a formal request to all car manufacturers. What the fuck are you doing? I'm serious. I'd like to know. Sitting on your fucking thumbs? But, like I said, the cool thing is they are finally going to be able to get that price point car at $25,000, all electric with high range. And it's going to be probably pretty nice because the Teslas, I think, are pretty nice looking. And that means other car manufacturers are going to have to innovate or die. Because if there was a car that had like a 500-mile range or even close, and it was $25,000, and it was all electric, of course I'm buying that car. Why would I buy any other car? I don't get it. Why? I mean, I don't know. I'm genuinely asking. I don't know. Show Bob. Oh. So, that's great news. Oh, he's just passed out on the ground, man. Is that true? Quick update. My brother ate ramen noodles and fell asleep in the park, and that's why he showed up so late. That's pretty funny, man. That is pretty fucking funny. Gosh, what a life. So, guys, as far as the $25,000 electric car, that's probably 2 years away, maybe 3 with delays and all that. But they have new battery factories and new Tesla manufacturing factories, and they're aiming for every continent. There's one in Berlin coming. There's I think the Chinese factory is winding up, and they're building a new one in Austin, Texas, I think. And then there'll be a battery factory as well as a car factory. And that is insano in the braino because that means the goal is one factory per continent, so they don't have to mail cars no mo. That's smart as hell, man. You know how cheap you can make a $25,000 car if it rolls off the lot and you only have to drive it 30 minutes? That's amazing. You still can't buy one legally in Texas. Fuck you, Texas, you morons. All right, how to make any burnt pan look brand new. You buy another one, fool, or quit burning it. Turn the heat down. Just take your time. Plan ahead. You've never seen an ITX case like this, and you just won't because we're not going to click on that. Clickbait trash. I watched UFC for the first time in a long time this weekend because my cousin's a psychopath. And one of the fighters at the post-game conference said, hey, at the very end, he was like, hey, and all the journalists out there, for those of you doing the clickbait articles and want to criticize me, he was like, you can criticize me, that's fair, I'm human, but you better watch your clickbait titles or I'm going to check your ass. He threatened to beat them up if they make clickbait articles titles. I thought that is the best fucking thing I've heard maybe ever. I think that is absolutely genius because he's right. You guys want to make clickbait? You want to do bullshit? You're gonna have to get fucking wrecked by a UFC fighter. God, that's my favorite thing ever is he busts into BuzzFeed and just starts wrecking interns. Boom! Yep. Why are you talking to me? I'm in a live podcast right now, dickhead. Yeah, you. Are you talking to me? Okay. You guys want to see what these guys are up to? All right, we'll show it. Got a little sparkling water sponsored, and a little massage action going on with the shirts off. It's the Super Neat Podcast, the only podcast on the internet, brought to you by AHA Sparkling Water, CBD, and man-on-man shirtless massage. It's intimate. It's deep tissue. It's Super Neat Massage. All right, guys, one more news. GOP senator on hypocrisy charges. Majority in power does what it wants. That doesn't seem like news to me. I'm not ending on that, so... Swiss voter clearly rejects curbs on EU immigration. I don't really understand what that headline is supposed to be telling me, to be completely honest. I'm just not that smart or plugged in. Okay. What a shit show. Oh my God, we're done with all of these headlines. I think we're done with the news in general. Judge plans to decide on Tic Tac U.S. App Store ban by the end of the day, 8 hours ago. I think the most important thing that we all can learn from the TikTok debacle is who cares and why. Super Neat Podcast, who cares? All right, one more, just because. Mariah Carey reveals secret alternative album recorded during daydream sessions. Yo, that is crazy, because we were just talking about, nope, don't care at all. I'm sure they're great, Mariah. Okay, guys, so that is the Super Neat news. That's the news by Super Neat. Now, time for the Super Neat news. We are wildly behind on every single production in queue. I blame my cousin 100%. I take no fault. I'm learning from our president that you can just not take responsibility. I didn't do it. He did it. I think that rolls that up. That's nice. Guys, I'm going to work on it. Tomorrow evening, as we know, Monday is my Super Neat day. So I will be going hard in the paint. And I'm going to try and get another edit out. Last Monday, I did get an edit out. If you're on the Patreon, thank you for your support, your generous support. You guys don't have to do it, and you do it because you're beautiful, lovely people, or super dumb. Beautiful, beautiful people. So Monday, I will get some content out to you regardless of quality, because that is what I promised, and that is what I will deliver. Plus, I'll be doing the Hanksy podcast, and I think they edit it because they're actually smart and think about things. So I don't know if it comes when it comes out, but that'll happen too. So a lot done. All right, Don Jr.'s on cocaine. Time for a stretch break. Sponsored by Waterloo. We're out of Waterloo. I haven't seen Waterloo on the market in a while. So sponsored by AHA Sparkling Water. AHA. Orange grapefruit is my personal flavor. What's yours? AHA Sparkling Water. Super Neat Podcast, the only podcast on the internet. Guys. We're supposed to have a guest, and he bailed. He's right here. You want to be my guest, man? No, he's saying no. Elliot, you want to be my guest? Be my guest. Not tonight, he says. You got two guys that are totally bailing. I can check the Discord live, or someone could post in chat if they'd like to be my guest, or we can just fucking let this thing roll and just keep tanking it. What do you guys think? Tank. The live studio audience. You should keep taking this shit show, this fucking tire fire. Guys, next week, big shout out to the patrons, honestly, for supporting me in these trying times. And I can promise you that next week's will be the most prepared I've ever been, or your money back. And there is no guarantee there, because I wouldn't even know how to do that. Venmo, probably. maybe we'll figure it out. But next week's is going to be really great. So just put up with this week. Let's see how far we are in. 30 minutes of record time. Man, I'm getting pretty good at the pacing. This is exactly when a guest would come in, 30 minutes. Typically. So normally, also here's an issue. When we have guests, it tends to be kind of a rolling shit show. Just do a solo. Pussy. Bet you won't. Somehow I knew there'd be partial nudity. Everybody gets what they want at the Super Neat Podcast. Partial nudity. Sorry for the audio viewers for that terrible sound that you just heard. And a solo show. Yeah, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna solo, guys. So my favorite thing, and I think some of the guests enjoy it, is we're gonna go through my Google Notes. And we're going to see what kind of fever dream garbage I've been writing in here. Video ideas. Batman attacking white-collar criminals. That's always pretty good. Batman on Wall Street just wrecking frat guys for insider trading. We're not going to go into that one. I think we've done it before. This is a PSA. Just so everyone knows, out there on Twitch, 90%, over 90%, this is a real statistic that I made up. Female streamers meet their husbands on the stream chat by big donations and by constantly pestering them. And if they're not married and they make it super clear that they're married, or even if they are married, go ahead and keep fanboying them, because I think that is what they want in a husband, and I think you're going to get it. I think if you just keep trying, the e-girls will, they're waiting. They're waiting for their simp, their magical simp lord. And you can do it with that new data that just came out from Reuters. 90% of female streamers meet the love of their life in stream chat. I'm looking at you, ASMR fans. God, I can't tell if these are jokes or just me trying to remember stuff. T-shirt idea, liquor store vacation t-shirt. That's it, block letters. They sell vacation t-shirts at liquor stores. Why? Who the fuck is buying those? This guy's raising his hand. We got one member of the studio audience buying the liquor store vacation t-shirt. Why even get the stupid liquor store t-shirt? Just go ahead and get one that says vacation t-shirt. Bagger Vance is a golf movie starring Will Smith. I should watch it, it says. You guys ever heard of that? I haven't. All right, guys, this is a train wreck. We can't say that one. This one's about drinking beer. We did this joke last time, I think, but I'm going to do it again because I think it's funny as fuck. Museums are bullshit. If I want to see a bunch of old shit in a room, I'll go to my mom's house. It's free, and I'll probably get some lasagna out of the deal. Oh, man. God, I've had one hell of a day. We rode bikes. I just had a burrito bowl. I mean, we've been on the subway. We walked. How many miles we walked, guys? 11,815 steps today. That's banana pancakes. Am I right? Let me get a woot woot. Woot woot. This is a live studio audience at Super Neat headquarters. Wow, this is the most active audience we've ever had on the podcast. I fucking love it. Oh man, this one's super bad. Whew. That's what we get at the Super Neat Podcast. Oh, we got a woot woot in chat. You get the t-shirt because you're on your third beer run and it seemed like a good idea after the blackout. That's right. You're like, honey, they need to get another couple dozen White Claws. Look at this shirt. He's got it. It's a dolphin. Oh my gosh. I hear that. Oh, guys, I forgot. We have a giveaway. We've got a super neat giveaway. Why is it wet? Why is it leaking? It's not leaking. No need to worry. Why is it leaking? I don't know. But what we're giving away from the Super Neat podcast is this Himalayan salt lamp. And it comes on its own. It is powered by a micro USB. It may not work anymore. And it sits on a little UFO. We got a that's dope from the studio audience. This can be yours. And all you have to do is comment on why is it leaking and how. What could possibly have liquid in it? It might not work. I'll still mail it to you. Shipping's free. It's included. What the fuck? What did you say? Tag 3 friends in the comments. Do what if you interact with me at all over the next week on any platform, anywhere, and say Himalayan salt lamp giveaway, you'll be entered in the drawing. I am gonna give it to you guys because I just don't have the heart to throw it away, but I just bought it for my fans. I didn't get it for free because I did an Amazon review. Wink. For those who are joining us via audio only, I winked because I did get it free for doing an Amazon review. So, guys, this is the Super Neat Podcast, the only podcast on the internet brought to you by AHA Sparkling Water. Combustinol, manage your constant bustin' disease symptoms. And, of course, shout out to the Hanksy Podcast for putting up with my garbage. And shout out to the patrons and the fans for putting up with my garbage. This is the biggest tire fire on the internet. And yet, here we are. We continue to roll through. Thanks, Combustinol. 69 degrees, 69% room humidity, 75 degrees Fahrenheit in the Super Neat studio. Okay, guys, we have just about 10 minutes plus on the podcast, and we're going to get serious. We're going to talk about something that no one is willing to talk about in the mainstream media. They are brainwashing us, sheepball. Wake up! All right? You want the truth? I'm going to give you the truth. I'm the first one on the internet. I'm the only podcast on the internet. Someone's got to do it, and it's going to be me. It's going to be now. It's going to be on the Super Neat Podcast, the only podcast on the internet. UFOs. Fact or fiction? You decide. We decide together. And that's why we're going to go to the most reputable sources, and we are going to Google search UFO ? No, we got something from just literally one day ago. The Goodyear blimp halts New Jersey traffic after a driver mistakes it for a UFO. We saw that. We saw the news that there was a UFO spotted in New Jersey. But it seems strange that it would take them over a week to figure out what it was. Couldn't people just see that it's a blimp? I think not. I think it's a cover-up. I think it's the classic garbage they gave us in 1951, or whatever year that was, at Roswell. A weather balloon? I don't buy it! It's this fucking wake-up, sheeple. It's a UFO. Obviously, it wasn't a blimp. Obviously, Goodyear is taking big government money to take the hit on this one. That's no blimp. Sure, it has blimp-like features and a giant screen that's probably promoting a tire. But for those of us that are awake, that are blue-pilled, red-pilled, what is it, red-pilled? What's the one that means you're awake? Whatever, you took the pill Neo took. We know that it's not a fucking semi-rigid dirigible. We know it's not an aircraft from this planet, from this world. It's extraterrestrial. And I'm certain. And Steph Schrader, I'm not going to assume their gender, but I am going to assume that they're a fake and a phony, is writing articles out here to keep the government agenda, to keep us asleep, because they know that once we know about the extraterrestrial invasion, we're not going to put up with it anymore. We're going to watch the clip. We're going to watch the clip and we'll decide if that's a blimp. Sure, yeah, it looks like a blimp. But does it make sense that there would be a blimp in New Jersey? Or does it make more sense that it'd be an extraterrestrial craft trying to contact us? And it would go to Hoboken to do that. Where would you go if you were an ET, huh? I don't know. Maybe you go to New Jersey. Okay, we're going to click on this one UFO thing and then... Guys, I think that there could be aliens out there, but I also think that the UFO community is so full of banana pancakes, K2 smoking wackos that it's tough. But this looks pretty official. Japan is now tracking and investigating UFOs. U.S. Navy acknowledges UFO videos are real. That seems like a pretty big headline. Published 2 days ago. Fox 10 Phoenix. In 2018, the Japanese government publicly stated its position on UFOs, saying no confirmation has been made of their existence. Which I find interesting because UFO is unidentified flying object, and I'm sure we see all kinds of like birds and stuff that are tough to identify. So I mean, I guess when they say UFO, they're referring to specifically extraterrestrial craft and beings. So Japan's going to start tracking UFOs. The decision followed the release of a declassification video in the United States, which shows encounters between UFOs and U.S. Navy pilots in 2004. I remember that video. That was tight. They were like, dude, you see that? Dang, man, that thing's fast as hell. That's pretty much the gist of it. They're like, what is that thing, man? Holy shit. Damn, that thing's fast, man. Here, we're going to watch it. I bet you money that's what it is. Oh, no, it's techno music and text on the screen. Real journalism. Give me the audio. Look at these UFO experts. One of these men is a UFO. One of these men is an alien. Can you guess which one it is? One of them's wearing a false skin. I'll tell you, it's both. For those of you joining us audio only, it's a picture of Donald Trump and some other squinting white guy. And pretty much every major politician these days looks like they're wearing a fake skin. They're all lizard people as far as I'm concerned. It would make so much more sense. It would honestly make this all so much easier to wrap my head around if they were just lizard people. July 23rd. Thanks, shout out to chat. Thank you, chat, for throwing a new link. The New York Times writes, no longer in shadows, Pentagon's UFO unit will make some findings public. Thanks, Pentagon. They're really doing the Lord's work. Pentagon versus Hexagon. Who's going to deliver the classified information? Is it time for your date, honey? Tell her I said hi. You're not going to tell her, are you? Tell her. I'll put her on the podcast. What's her first name? You say it? Johanna? Johanna. Hey, Johanna. If you're just joining us on the SUPERNEAT podcast, I want to say that Nick is on his way to your hot date. I hope you guys enjoy a slice of za down in wonderful Brooklyn, New York. SUPERNEAT podcast, the only podcast on the internet, salutes you. Have fun. Now back to the real news. The Hexagon is going to make UFO findings public. Are you wearing the J. Crew? It's a lovely denim jacket brought to you by J. Crew. So, for over a decade, the program, now tucked inside the Office of Naval Intelligence, has discussed mysterious events in classified briefings, as they are wont to do. Despite Pentagon's statements that it's disbanded a once covert program to investigate unidentified flying objects, the effort remains underway, renamed and tucked inside the Office of Naval Intelligence. What happens inside the Office of Naval Intelligence? You would think that they would talk mostly about boats and such. Turns out, nay. They talk about mystifying encounters between military pilots and unidentified aerial vehicles, also known as UAVs. That's that new. UFOs, old news. Hexagon officials will discuss the program, which is not classified, but deals with classified matters. Well, how the hell does that make sense? That's like a public restroom, but all the urinals have like saran wrap on them. They're like, listen, you can use them, but just don't pee on the saran wrap. This is bogus. You out of here? Much love, my brother. I salute you. You'll text me? The SUPERNEAT podcast wants to send off Nick to his date. The SUPERNEAT podcast is the only podcast on the internet. And if you're going on a date tonight, or any night, we want to say stay safe, social distance, and have fun. And that's it. And we are not going to say anything else about that. Back to the real news. Aliens. Do they walk among us? Are you guys enjoying this, or is this terrible? Mr. Davis, who now works for the Aerospace Corporation, a defense contractor, said he gave a classified briefing to a Defense Department agency as recently as March about retrievals from an off-world vehicles not made on this earth. That is the best line. Goodbye, Nick. Have a date. Guys, whoa. That is... Wow. Jeez, I shouldn't have read that. We're not going to read the whole article out loud. Look at this guy. He's definitely seen some... That face says it all. I'm not going to use the word probe. But let's just say he's disgruntled. Guys, we're going to skim through it a little bit, but this is actually sick. I may have read this article July 23rd, 2020. If it's the New York Times and it's related to UFO, there's a hot chance that it's going to hit my inbox. To be completely honest, there's a good chance. Senator Marco Rubio, who we all trust, Marco Rubio, that guy, what a cool guy, is the acting chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. There's a joke to be made there. But we'll let it slide. Marco, you little bastard. I'm sure he's a good guy. Probably not. I don't know. Hopefully he's a lizard. Hopefully all the politicians are lizards, except for Ralph Nader. He was a real one. It's in the government's best interest to find out who's responsible. Yeah, no doy. He expressed concerns that China or Russia or some other adversary. What other adversaries are there that we don't know about? North Korea? How many adversaries do we have? And what is the technical definition of adversary? They can make some technological leap that allows them to conduct this sort of activity. So here's the deal. This is why, if you Imagineer why the government doesn't spill the beans on UFOs, because let's say they're UFOs and the government finds them, which I think is probably, maybe true. There's probably some dope tech in there. There's probably some Bluetooth speakers and cool noise-canceling headphones and a sweet gold chain that says hot bitch on it. And the U.S. government is like, fuck everybody else. We are getting the hot bitch necklace. No, we didn't find anything. Sorry, no. We didn't find your holographic Charizard. We don't know. We didn't see anything. Sorry. Gotta go. My mom says I have to go. Bye. because they obviously want to keep the gold necklace. That logic seems super standard to me. That seems like standard operating procedure that's pretty American. That's pretty imperialist in any major country. China was the only country that produced silk for like 1,000 years. Someone figured it out. They're like, holy fuck, worms poop this out. And they stole the worms and they smuggled them out. Then everybody be making silk. But for a minute, you wanted silk, you got to go to China. They probably made mad bank. I'll have the SUPERNEAT historians fact check that, but I can say with 80% confidence that China probably made mad bank off of being the only ones with silk pooping worms. That's the same type of logic going here. There are UFOs out there, most definitely. Each country that likes to stockpile giant weapons and make giant missiles and shit is probably like, hey, let's hold on to that puppy. We can't let everybody have microwaves. We can't let everybody have the hot bitch necklace. This is just for us. Because, well, listen, we're not fighting anyone. We're not going to war with anyone. But if we do, we are going to vaporize you with our alien laser we found. God, our governments are so trash. You think we'd be like, hey, let's try and solve, like, people are hungry and sick a lot. Maybe let's work on that. And they're like, yeah, but we could also build 5,342 nukes. And then we would have the most. And the rest of the government's like, hell yeah, this fucking guy promoted. This guy's fucking on it. What'd that other guy say? Healthcare? Who fucking cares about that? Russia's got 3,000 nukes. We have 5,000 nukes. Boom. Then we're both obliterated. And they're like, probably we could obliterate with like 20 nukes, especially the new nukes. Healthcare? More like, who cares? Am I right? Fuck healthcare. Let's get more nukes. I want a nuke for every American. I want a nuke. I did not nuke that hot pocket. I did not nuke that hot pocket. Do not tell my wife. I'm on a vegan diet. I'm very healthy. I did not have a pizza pocket. I did not have 2 of them. And I did not microwave them in the crisping sleeve. That's my statement, and I'm sticking to it until someone decides to tell me that webcam in the conference break room is actually plugged in. I haven't checked personally, but if it is plugged in, then I will make a further statement. But if I suspect correctly that it is not plugged in, then I emphatically did not have those 2 hot pockets with the crisper sleeve on it. And they were not delicious. And I did not burn the tip of my tongue trying to test if the pepperoni was a little hot. And it was super duper hot. I mean, I did not have it. I did not eat that hot pocket. Maybe there's some completely sort of boring explanation, but we need them to find out. If there's anything I know the government's capable of, it's a completely boring explanation for anything. Guys, just think of the implications. There's UFOs. Man, interstellar flight, travel. Is it flight in space? Space flight? I mean, it would be very cool. And the question is, let's say that they find UFOs. Let's say they've got nothing. No one's found a UFO. I find that hard to believe personally. I guess. And they find one. Do we really expect them to like just tell us? Be like, hey, there are aliens. Like, shout out. It's going to be like on the New York Times. Like, there are aliens. We found them. We have one of their boats. That's it. What do you think? No, they're not doing that. Because people would go banana pancakes. Right? What do all the standard religions say about that? They're like, God made us in his image. And then we're like, what about that green guy that has a ship that can go in outer space and then come down here and he can do 360s and burnouts and the Walmart parking lot and then go back out to outside space? And the Christian leaders all like huddled together and they're like, God made him too. He's okay. Or We don't know him. Nuke him. That's why we have 6,000 of these suckers. Which makes more sense for the arms race. You'd think that there would be like a threshold of nukes. We'd be like, we have enough. You know, like we can guarantee we can blow up every square inch. Even if half of them fail. And they'd be like, okay, we're good. And they don't have to make any more. But they just keep making more. I mean, I really don't know that for a fact because I don't know what the government is doing at any time about anything. I don't understand how any of it works. There's an electoral college? The fuck does that mean? Why can't I text my vote like American fucking Idol and we can just be done with it? We're really going off the rails. We're getting hot links. This one will blow your mind. Speaking of aliens, if one landed from space, smiled and waved big hello, and then you shot it and ate it, that's legal? Is this a fact? What are the... Dung beetles navigate via the Milky Way, first known animal in the kingdom. This is the best paywall I've ever hit. Enter your email to continue reading. I guess it's an email wall. A data wall. Let's just digest that headline real quick. Dung beetle. Dung beetles navigate via the Milky Way. Can they see it? They'd have to. Surely there's no cosmic radiation that they can detect on that level. I'd have to enter my freaking email to read it. I want to read it too. Well, think about it. Guys. Dung beetles are using the Milky Way to navigate. And we can't fathom that some other creatures out there can drive space boats to us. What if there are space beetles? What if the dung beetles just forgot and they lost their tech? But they're the ones. They're the originals. They came here and they brought us and they brought giraffes, crocodile. And they were like, dude, let's make this a new cool planet. We'll make a dung beetle 2. Dung beetle planet 2. And then... and then they destroy themselves with dung nukes. Nukes of dung. Pangea separates. Cracks. Separates. The explosions are immense. Dung everywhere. And their technology is lost in time. And since most things are made of dung, it literally dissolves. Dust in the wind. And the humans, believe it or not, 1 in a million chance, we're the ones that begin to take over. And the dung beetles are left in the dung. Maybe that's our origin story. God made us in his image, and his image was a beetle riding a big old ball of dung. And then we just showed up. And we're like, hey, know what we're good at? Populating, killing each other. And we're going to continue to do that for the next millennia! Or 2. Or 3 or 4 or 5. How long is a millennia? 1,000 years? 100,000? A million? I think it's 1,000 years. Guys, this is substantial. Speaking of aliens, if one landed, you can... I didn't see the paywall. I'll do it. I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to let you guys see my email, which is hilarious because it's super neat. 12345@gmail.com. Guys, click here to go. Oh, we're live. Okay, we're going to quickly go over this. How long have we been talking about this? Oh, guys, we're right at the 59-minute mark. I hope that this was a podcast that you guys can get behind. I know that it was a bit of a tire fire at the beginning, but I actually had a really great time towards the end. Pontificating on the existence of space aliens. Let's run through this one really quick. Talk about star power. Christine Delamore. How do any writers get hired? I have big respect for writers because if I typed in, I'm sitting at my keyboard and I type in they're like, hey, Joe, we got a new article. It turns out there's some cool facts about dung beetles. We need you to knock that one out this weekend. It's going to be published on the 23rd. And I'm like, dude, it's the 20th. Are you kidding me? They're like, get it done. This is why we pay you, Joe. You're a writer now. And I'm like, all right, what's the fact? And they're like, dung beetles navigate via the Milky Way. And I'm like, talk about star power. I start typing that shit up. God, I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror. I do that thing from from the Jake Gyllenhaal movie where he is a news film person. What is that? Not the spider. What, I don't know. Just shake the mirror. Star power, you idiot! Idiot! That's what Christine does. I don't know. Maybe she's into it. Maybe she wrote. She was like, talk about star power, and then just like leans back, hands behind her head. Killed it. Great one, Christine. Boom. We're not even reading it. Sorry, I'm just tripping over that first line. A new study shows that dung beetles navigate via the Milky Way, the first species to do so in the animal kingdom. First known species. Maybe they all do it. Maybe we do it. I think we use Google Maps. The tiny insects, I don't know about tiny. Let's say insects. I'd say standard. Can orient themselves to the bright stripe of light generated by our galaxy and move in a line relative to it. Oh, that makes sense. Too bad we are the pros at fucking up all the light pollution. Damn, that beetle is sick. Meet a beautiful beetle that loves to eat poop. Yo, we're clicking on that. That is a beautiful beetle. I don't really care if it loves to eat poop. Look at this guy. This guy studies beetles. That is for sure. I could have guessed that out of a lineup. He is joining us audio only. There's a man, and he is a beetle enjoyer. You can tell. No judgment, man. Whatever you're into. But when you buy glasses that look like that, let's just say you better be researching beetles, or Beetle Gang, the other beetle researchers are going to fuck you up. You can't wear those oval glasses, you non-beetle enjoyer. This is a complicated navigational feat. It's quite impressive for an animal that size. It's impressive for any dude, human, man or female. Dude being a neutral term. You kidding me? Look in the sky and you're like, that way. I mean, I guess I may be able to follow it in a straight line-ish. God, but it's like, you'd be really traveling pretty far. And then, but where does it go? The beetles are following it and they're like, I fucking hope this is going somewhere. They're at least going in a straight line, and that's the most important part. Straight line to nowhere. They're beetles. Where the hell are they going? Dung beetles' favorite poop revealed. Now this is talk about a shitty clickbait article. Oh no, I've come full circle. We should end it here. Seeing stars. Well, look at the techno beetle. Scientists put hats. Oh, okay. We're gonna click on this and then we're gonna call it. No. Yes, no. Look at that fucking dung beetle hat. The scientists, I love how scientists are always just scientists. We never have a scientist name. It's never like, scientist Marie Callender puts a hat on. It's just like, scientists, people in white lab coats, put hats on dung beetles to block their ability to see stars. This beetle, which is clearly wearing a hat, acted as a control. That poor bastard. He's like, time to head home. Where is that Milky Way? I guess he's got the clear one so he could see. I don't know. Dapper beetles. These poor beetles. They're like just trying to go home. Oh! Sorry, that is a bug that I refuse to. Oh my god, the last line. We're going to end it on the last line. If you saw it already, don't spoil it. That's a real fact. You can get breakfast from McDonald's 24 hours a day if you have a gun. Facts. Break it open. Roll that beautiful beetle footage. Nothing like a can full of beetles. Maybe in another life we'd all be eating beetles. Maybe the Beetles would be eating us. Think about it, sheeple. Okay, guys, we're going to end it on the last line. What a great podcast. What a terrible podcast, and what a great podcast. An hour and 5 minutes. We did pretty good. No guests. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. I'll be uploading it to YouTube tomorrow. And I'm sorry for the delay. It's the SUPERNEAT podcast, the only podcast on the internet. Brought to you by AHA Sparkling Water. Brought to you by Combustinol. Manage your constant busting. Manage your constant busting disease. And shout out to the Hanksy podcast for putting up with me. I think that's going to be really fun to do that. So I will leave all the information necessary for that podcast to find it with greater ease in the link in the description below of the YouTube. Oh yeah, that's it. And now let's do the final line. It's probably a widespread skill that insects have. Migrating moths might also be able to do it. As for the beetles themselves, they were very easy to work with, he added. You can do anything you want to them. They just keep on rolling. And just like the dung beetles, we are going to keep on rolling with our lives collectively on out of this podcast. Thank you guys again for joining me. Thanks for putting up with it. Shout out to the patrons. For real, we got some content coming out tomorrow. I love you all. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in because what fun. What fun it is to do this podcast. Even in a panic, even a little late, and even with no prep. It's just always a hoot, and I love doing it. Episode 6, King of the Stone. I didn't even get to explain that. What that one meant, and we'll just King of the Dung. This is the rewrite. We're gonna write it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. That's it. You can do anything you want to them. They just keep on rolling. Those poor beetles. They're just trying to roll on, roll on, roll on, roll on, roll on. All right. And Sting is going to play us out. What does that mean to play us out? No, the fucking thing sucks. No. What does that mean? To play us out. Alright. So loud. Sorry, headphone users. Alright, see you guys later. We're gonna finish this beautiful song by Curtis Cole, Futuristic Cliche. We'll join you in the next podcast. Ta-ta for now. Down, 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 down. Love you guys. Bye bye.